as sea levels rise, water will take out any land, crops, and or buildings located on the coast. Um, Water destroying crops leads to a stress in food availability. Farmers would have to relocate, putting a pause to growing food. Any buildings such as houses, schools, and restaurants on the coast would have water damage and would have to relocate. Availability of agriculture products is directly affected by climate change, with an impact on crop yield, soil fertility, and soil water holding properties. Coastal flooding and increased storm surges from extreme weather causes flooding. Flooding will destroy the land, any housing or crops, and could potentially kill farm animals. This is a graph of impacts on crops, and as you can see, it's mostly like droughts, floods, and then as we get to the year of 2000s, it kind of spikes with unusual climate events due to climate change. And a huge social problem is overconsumption. Overconsumption of goods causes manufacturers to keep mass producing, leading to more things being bought to then be thrown away, and the cycle just continues. Humans have consumed about 1/3 of Earth's natural resources to build our economies, but that caused the climate to break down. As our climate worsens, we are exhausting the planet's life support systems, like the one that gives us materials needed for our health and quality of life, or the ones that provide us with fresh water. Humans continue to burn fossil fuels and overconsume everything, not realizing that Earth's natural resources are not infinite and they will run out if we continue on this path. And this is just an image that kind of explains overconsumption and, the casual factors of it, of, the population, and then how it just kind of keeps trickling down. That just keeps creating problems such as like habit loss and invasive species. It is clear to see that human-induced climate change and overconsumption has created an abundance of problems for the social pillar and threatens our resource security. These two topics go hand in hand when people run the risk of not being able to access food, water, and or medical necessities. Now, how this moves into balance with the environmental pillar. Human-induced climate change affects the social pillar because it creates food and water insecurities, and this moves into balance with the environmental pillar because human social activities are part of the reason for why our environments are changing. As the climates change, the environment that farmers have always used may not be good to grow on anymore. Some land becomes unstable to live on, and sea levels rise and take over. Local animals get ran out of their habitats, and there's a change of the environment altogether. With climate change and overconsumption, humans have threatened the conditions that human, animals, and plants need to operate and survive. And then how it moves into balance with the economic pillar. Just as we have to be worried about farmers and how climate change ruins crops and threatens their food supply, we also have to be worried about the economy. The crops, seafood, and livestock produced in the U.S. contributes more than $300 billion to the economy each year. And I also read how it's much more when you take into account fast food, restaurants, and all that. Market prices depend on production, so if production is low due to damage of crops or change in climate, the prices will rise. Fields washing away and livestock drowning due to floods can disrupt market prices and has before caused the cost of animal feed and ethanol to rise. And then here we have my references.